Number 3, Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Justice, what steps is the government taking to improve public services in law and order?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
As part of the government's wider focus on better public services, last week the Prime Minister set 2 targets for improving performance in the justice sector. First is reducing the rates of total crime, including violent crime and youth crime, and reducing reoffending. Criminal offending is like a tax on every New Zealander. It has an appalling cost for victims, their families and communities. The government has clearly shown its commitment to improving law and order in New Zealand over the past 3 years, and further reducing crime and reoffending is a key target which will benefit all New Zealanders.
Jonathan Young.
To the Minister, how has the government's focus on law and order in the past 3 years affected New Zealand's crime rate?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Speaker, under this government, the public is safer than it has been for many years. Crime is now at a 30-year low. The number of people going through our courts is falling, and we are experiencing the first sustained fall in the prison population since the 1930s. Mr. Speaker, this is excellent news for New Zealand. The total recorded crime rate for 2010, they don't like hearing this, do they, was a full 26% lower than its peak in 1992, and 80% of all serious crime is now being resolved. This government is clearly focused on preventing crime, addressing the drivers of crime, the treatment and rehabilitation of offenders, and better support for victims. Our approach is clearly working.
Jonathan Young.
What is the government doing to achieve these targets, and why?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr. Speaker, over the last term, this government has driven more than 20 significant initiatives to improve the justice sector and to make New Zealand a safer place. These include the Policing Excellence Programme, addressing the drivers of crime, making sure that the worst recidivist violent offenders are in jail, and initiatives to speed up court processes. We have and are expanding alcohol and drug treatment rehabilitation programs, and we now know that we can reduce reoffending, and we are working with iwi and community groups to deliver rehabilitation to offenders.
Order.
The cycle of violence and reoffending...
Order. Question time is not a time for speeches. Chauvel, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What steps has she taken to address the current level of widespread breaching of police safety orders, the chronic underfunding of important public watchdogs like the Ombudsman and the Judicial Conduct Commissioner, and to lift the current burglary clearance rate from below its miserable level of under 25%?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr. Speaker, well, in relation to the police safety orders, of course, this government brought them in, and the previous government, they didn't even exist. And actually, I've had a look at the breaching rates on them, and actually they're not anywhere near what anyone else would expect. When I was the Minister of Police, I made sure we had monthly statistical indicators, so they're on the police website, and I'm sure that member would be improved if he could have a look at them.
Question number 4, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of